Hello everyone, I'm Chester44 and welcome to this Let's Play of Avadon. Last episode, we made it back to the fortress of Avadon to find that everyone is being murdered. Assassins have shown up. People are trying to destroy Avadon and kill Redbeard. And Hart Miranda was a traitor in here. We gave her as little information about what was going on as we could. Lied about it because I had a feeling something was wrong right from the start when I saw her there. Turns out, she took me and tried to turn me into someone that she could use to kill Redbeard and take control. But I said no. I fought her a bit, but then she escaped into the Tawan Empire, who are behind this whole scheme. Now, we have to get back up to the tower to find Redbeard. So let's go do just that. Well, at the top of the stairs you see a familiar face. Hand Callan runs up to you, trailed by several warriors. Her blade is drawn and she shows signs of recent use. She pants. Jason, I am glad you returned. I'm glad to see it. This is a dark day for Avadon. We've been trying to reach Redbeard, but without success. Now we are going back downstairs to drive the invaders from our fortress. I'm looking for my companions. They were helping me to find Redbeard. You'll find them to the north. You cannot find Redbeard? No, and it makes no sense. This is the darkest day for Avadon in recent memory. Why is he not out here, rallying the troops and fighting by our side? Many loyal servants of the Black Fortress have died today. I'll go back down with you. No, you must find Redbeard. Until we know what has happened to him, we will be unable to make a proper plan. After the attack, we need a leader. Tell me more about the attack. There is still little that I know. Somehow, dozens of assassins gained entrance to the Black Fortress in the middle of the night. With the advantage of surprise and darkness, many of our best were dead before they had a chance to draw their blades. Who has been lost? I can't be sure. The librarian, Ilera, fell under their blades while weaving a spell to save herself. I saw it with my own eyes. As for the others lost, the time to make a tally is after the assassins are gone. How did you survive? Pure luck. One of my guards let out a scream as the assassins tried to kill her in her bed. She was slain, but the sound woke some of us up. What will you do? You should stay up here and find Redbeard. We will go downstairs, kill all of the invaders we can find, and locate Hart Miranda. In Redbeard's absence, she can take command. There's something you should actually know. You quickly tell Hand Callan what transpired down below. She is predictably stunned. Can this be true? Even Hart Miranda, even she has turned against us. No matter. I am loyal and I am ready to fight. The battle waits us below. Good luck. I will look around up here. Good luck to you, Jason. If we survive, a long, hard job of rebuilding awaits us. Hand Callan runs downstairs, eager to fight. Her warriors follow. And my companions are to the north, eh? Very well, then. Chances are all these gates are still closed. Keeper's Tower, that must be where he is, if we could somehow get in there. I don't think there's going to be anything over here to look at. That might be the way we're supposed to get in. There's nothing over there. Alright. Let's go find our companions. Hopefully they're all alright. To Ceremonial Hall. So they're in the ceremonial hall, are they? You enter an old, stately hall, one that is usually locked away. It is both lovely and imposing, and someone recently went to the effort of lighting candles all along its length. It stretches off into the shadows to the east. You see another exit at the far end. Perhaps Redbeard retreated here when the attack happened. Then someone steps out from behind a pillar. The hall is not empty. You see one of your companions ahead, waiting for you and eager to talk. Sevelin walks up to you. Jason, it is a relief to see you. When you didn't emerge from the portal at the same time I did, I assumed you were lost. Everything has gone mad here. Avadon once played so casually with everyone's lives. My life. Now it can barely protect itself. And yet here we are, sworn to protect it. I follow the stone code. I am no oathbreaker. And yet how am I best to serve Avadon? I think that our time following Miranda's orders is done. Do you still have need of me? I'm looking for Redbeard. He looks to the east. I think that the keeper is back there, behind a locked gate. He has not let me in. For you, it might be different. I want to take Sevelin and Miranda. Sevelin, he follows the stone code. He said he'll follow it. And I helped him out with what happened. I want you to fight by my side. Sevelin nods. It will be an honor. You helped me to hunt down Cahill and have vengeance upon him. In return, I owe you an awesome debt. I will do whatever you require. Now we must find Redbeard. He stops to think about this, remembering all he has been through, all he has learned. The pardon of Cahill weighs heavily upon him. Though I do not know what we should do when we find him. We do what is best for the Pact. Today, that means following Redbeard's orders. Sevelin thinks about your words. I have no more respect for Redbeard, not after his pardon of Cahill. And yet today I must forget my grudge and do my best for the Pact. I wish it did not have to be so. Lead on, Jason. I will follow your lead, whatever you decide, even if you change your mind. Alright. 20 dexterity. And... It's gonna have to be the stuff on the bottom. We don't really have much option. So... 1 point in Savage Blow and Path of the Shield. Okay. Do you have anything? That wrap would actually be useful. Better than the Drake Scale Mantle. The rest of these I think we're probably going to get rid of. Shima emerges from the shadows. He is clearly relieved to see you. Welcome, Jason. You have missed eventful times. The portal had been disrupted during the attack. We were afraid that you would be unable to return. The attack is almost over. Soon I think the assassins will be destroyed. We will count and bury our dead. I have been tasked to find what has happened to Redbeard. I may do this. But then what? I can no longer put my full faith in his leadership. Not after all I have learned. Where should I go? What should I do? You should go downstairs and help to... I want you to continue to fight at my side. All of them. Shima does not hesitate. He shakes his head. These last months have been a great struggle for me. After my family was destroyed, I began to hunt for a place where I could belong. I need companions whom I can support and who will support me when needed. I will go below now and help to drive the invaders from Avadon. Then I will leave this place forever and begin my hunt for a new home. Goodbye, Jason. I truly wish you the best of fortune. With one final nod, he leaves to the south. I understand, Shima, and I am sorry. Janelle is sitting on a marble bench feeding a tiny salamander. When she sees you, she dispels it with a wave of her hand. She rises and puts her hand on your arm. Jason, I had feared that you were dead, lost in the mad flight from Castle Fabu. It is good to have you here. You can help us in the hunt for Redbeard. The enemy seems to be defeated, but our leader remains at large. Dead? Hiding? Cowering? We should find out. Then I have to decide where to go. I have learned too much about Avadon over the last few months. Is the Pact even good for my people? I am no longer sure. What little certainty I had has faded away. I want you to continue to fight at my side. Janelle thinks hard about this. Finally, she looks you in the eye. When my fellow warriors of the Wild Realm were threatened, you helped me to save them. When you could have killed them, you spared them. I offered you my gratitude, and I am still in your debt. Before we continue, I have a question for you. Jason, based on all you have seen, is Redbeard still the right man to command Avadon? Is he making Avadon do what is best for the Pact? He is not perfect, but he is doing the best one leader could possibly do. One leader. Yes, we are all at the mercy of that one man. One immortal, arrogant, capricious man. The state of things was decided by wiser heads than me, and yet I can't help but question it. Let us go, Jason, and find Redbeard. I will discharge my debt to you, whatever you decide in the end. I will be at your side. Of course. And I think... Black Birch Staff, Summoner's Staff. Will this Summoner's Staff actually be useful? No, I think the one we have is better. hold on to it, but... And Ring of the Lovelorn, don't think we need it. Nathalie is waiting for you at the east end of the hall. For once, her arm doesn't seem to be bothering her. It hangs relaxed at her side. Right now, the look in her eyes is a source of more concern. She looks wild, almost out of control. Her hands are shaking. She turns to look at you. For a moment, she doesn't seem to recognize you. Then finally, something clicks. She runs up and embraces you. Jason, you have returned. You are well. I am pleased. Avadon has gone mad. It is crumbling. Surely you have seen it for yourself. I have been standing here, unsure of what to do. Should I even stay here? I wanted to hear what you had to say. Of all of Avadon, you are the only one who saw my potential. I want to put your skills to use. Continue to fight at my side. Of course, Jason. You are the only one who ever seemed to recognize my power. Those other fools, they ignored me, and look at what a mess Avadon is in now. You saved my life, and I will do as you say. I wish I could say the same for Redbeard, but his time is ending. He has allowed everything to crumble around him. He commands no fear. Hands being murdered, me abandoned, my arm ruined. It always hurts. His power is fading. Perhaps someone might replace him. She looks at you with a gleam in her eye, perhaps already picturing the day when you make her a heart. This is not the day to make such decisions. Today we must all fight together. The only day is today. My powers are here. They are ready, waiting to serve you. Why delay? I owe you too much. I will do what you say. I owe you my life, and you know how to make use of my power. Whatever you decide in the end, I will follow you. And here we are. Sadly, we do not have Shima with us. I could not help him with his problems. And sadly, I only wish him the best. I apologize, Shima. But for now, me, Sevelin, Janelle, and Nathalie. 2 warriors, 2 mages. One of them a healer. Whatever we fight, we'll stand together for this. Alright, let's get going. Somewhere in here. There's the gate. As you walk farther east, the halls get darker and dirtier. The gate ahead is open. The ceremonial hall doesn't look like it has been used for many years. Perhaps it is used for the coronation of a new keeper. Since Redbeard has been in charge for many decades, that would explain why it has been left sealed. But it is open now, and someone is fighting within. As you approach, you see flashes of light and hear the clash of steel on steel. You see the shadows of 2 people, one smaller, one larger, fighting to the death. You are just in time to interrupt a savage duel. You walk unnoticed into the ceremonial hall. To the southeast, in the middle of an enchanted circle, you see Redbeard. He is in furious single combat with a Shadow Walker. At least he is dressed like a Shadow Walker. The 2 of them are dueling both with blades and with magic. Redbeard wears many enchanted pieces of jewelry. These constantly provide him with protective spells and spit fire and lightning where he desires. The Shadow Walker, in turn, has many of the tricks of his kind. Decoys flicker into being, attack, and fade away. He constantly produces pods, potions, and pouches of dust from his robes. You move into the hall, hoping for a closer view. As you slip into the room, Redbeard and the assassin continue their duel. Vicious blows and spells fly back and forth at blinding speed. You stand a safe distance away. If you try to get involved, you could easily hit the wrong target. Die, tyrant! You have no hope. We are Legion! As you move into the hall, Redbeard finally gets the upper hand in the battle. The Keeper of Avadon, unwounded and barely breathing hard, summons a blast of energy. Just as you finally recognize the Shadow Walker, Redbeard's spell flies towards his chest. He dodges the blast, but it grazes him. The Wayfarer, attempted assassin of the Keeper of the Black Fortress, flies back across the room. This is the end. Redbeard doesn't leave his protective circle. He points a mailed hand at the Wayfarer, ready to deliver another spell. The Wayfarer slowly rises to his feet. Then he sees you. He reaches up and pulls off his mask. You see that he is a middle-aged man of Eastern Linnaeus. He is a skilled warrior and assassin, but he is no Hulklandian at all. Redbeard flicks his eyes toward you, takes in your presence, and then turns his attention to his foe. Shadow Tarkus, I knew you would return here in time. As a prisoner or my victim, it is all the same to me. Shadow Tarkus. An assassin and spy for the Farlands. If a Cimmerian or Talon or warrior of Svorgald wants a loyal citizen of the Pact killed, Tarkus will do it, for a price. From your vantage point, you can see that Tarkus's hand is inching slowly toward one of the pouches on his belt. Redbeard, he's reaching for something. Tarkus's hand darts toward his pouch. Redbeard mutters a word of command. The muscles in the assassin's arm seize up. He shouts in pain. "Thank you," Redbeard says. Tarkus turns to face you, his head to face you. He is furious. Listen to Tarkus. "So you are finally here, Jason. Made it through Vibue, I see. Knew you would. Now I suppose you will watch me die, grinning and gloating all the while. Watch as the cowardly tyrant of Linnaeus claims another victim." Just watch. Shadow Tarkus spits at you. Then he turns to Redbeard. "The end is upon you, Keeper. The assault has already begun, and soon—" "Enough, Tarkus! I've heard 1,000 such speeches. They bore me." He says a word of command. A gout of flame flies from his gauntlet. The assassin collapses, coughing and spitting blood. "What a waste. I was a fool. I wasted my life on this attempt. I might... And then he is silent. Redbeard turns to you. "Now that ugly business is settled, I need your report. There is much to discuss, plan, and do." "Of course." Redbeard looks at the crumpled body on the floor before him with a clinical detachment. "That was a long-delayed bit of business. Were this a happier day, I would take some satisfaction in it. As it is, he has distracted me at a time when I couldn't afford it. What gets my attention, however, is that you seem to have spoken to him already. And judging from your actions, seems to have had some luck planting disloyalty in your soft head. Tell me, how did you know this creature? You suspect that your answers to these questions will make a huge difference in how things go to you. How did he distract you? All sorts of trickery. When I found that we were under attack, I found gates locked and passages full of traps and hostile shades. When I was about to return to the main floor of the fortress, that was when Shadow Tarkus stepped out to attack. That creature truly thought he had a chance to best me. Humorous. He constantly contacted me as I traveled. He was a bit of a pest. I can imagine how irritating that was. He was a cunning and persistent fellow. Better hands than you have been turned by his wiles. He must have seen great potential in you, but you seem to have resisted. A mark in your favor. But enough about this refuse. He has wasted enough time. I need your report. Speak quickly. Report what, exactly? Redbeard is trying to seem casual and unruffled, but you have learned how to tell when he is angry. And right now he is absolutely furious. I need to go downstairs, show myself, and regain control over my fortress. First, I must have as much information as possible. Tell me what is happening below. Once I hear what you have to say and speak with Aunt Miranda, I will be able to act. You won't find Miranda. She has fled to the Tawan Empire. For the first time, Redbeard is thrown off balance. In fact, he is stunned. Miranda! Most loyal of my wives. You betray me now? Did you truly hold a grudge against me all this time? I must... No. There is time for anger later. A horrible vengeance will fall upon her. For now, I still have my duty. Tell me, what happened with Lord Griffin? I received some confusing reports. Lord Griffin declared me a criminal and sent his soldiers to hunt me. That is indeed what was reported to me. A repeat of that business with Hand Gavin. That was very odd. For you to be reported a traitor as well made me suspicious. Lord Griffin is no longer trying to make peace with Hulklandia. Grim news, but not unexpected. I supported him in his noble, doomed quest as best I could. I did not, however, expect the consequences of his failure to be so dire. Lord Griffin was a traitor, and I'm afraid I killed him. This is grim news. A sad day for the Pact, and surely his treachery is related to the other problems we are having. In killing him, you did well. Now I must work to prevent war between Hulklandia and Kalimdariel, a disastrous conflict that is already, I suspect, underway. There's but one more thing I need to ask, then we can begin to plan. Shouldn't you be going downstairs? There are things I need to know, and only you can provide them. I will ask my questions now. Otherwise, if you disappear or are killed, vital information will be lost. Very well. What do you need to know? I believe that everything that has happened, The attacks on Avadon, the attacks on Hands, the madness in the Kava and Chimeria, and the treachery of Duke Griffin are all linked. Someone powerful is plotting against Avadon and the Pact. Do you know who is responsible? He leans forward, desperate for your answer. You haven't learned for yourself yet? I will confess, I have been complacent. It took far too long for me to realize that all of the problems we have been having were related. I have not had time to properly hunt for whoever is responsible. I learned who is responsible. Someone in the Tawan Empire named Delos. Redbeard nods. The name sounds familiar. It passed my desk recently, one of a host of suspects. Aunt Miranda said that she thought he was innocent. More of her treachery. This information will save us weeks of effort at minimum. I will see you rewarded for this. You have done a great deed for the Pact. What will happen to me? Yes, what will happen to you? You have shown such great skill and potential. I can't afford to use good material inefficiently. I shall spare you a moment more. Before we decide where you are to be sent, is there anything you wish to say about Avadon? Why did you pardon Cahill after he killed several Hands? Because the information Cahill gave me saved the lives of more Hands and many people of the Pact in the bargain. Those with valuable information will not give it unless Avadon offers things in return and then lives up to its word. He turns to Sevelin. I am sorry for what you went through, but it isn't for the best. The Pact is more important than your feelings. Sevelin looks away from him. Why is Avadon allied with the Honored Forge, the destroyers of Shima Three Spears' clan? Because the Three Spear clan often spoke out against Avadon, while the Honored Forge helped us whenever possible. If you believe that Avadon only fights for the good of the Pact, then you must see only one choice was available to me. I can understand that. I am only sorry that Shima was not here. Loyal warriors of the Wild Realm have been driven into Chimeria for following the laws of their people. The laws of the Wild Realm? Who cares a whit for them? I look after the lives of 5 nations, not one. The Wild Realm greedily grabs the safety we provide and ignores its responsibilities, and I am expected to show sympathy? Nonsense. Redbeard looks at Janelle. I will forgive your little adventures against my better judgment. Those warriors you went to save, they deserve their fate and more. Janelle nods in response. You can't read her expression. Nathalie went to hunt Zosa Mindtaker. Why didn't you help? Why do you waste my time with this trivia? The fate of the Pact is on the balance, and you are worried about one pest? One of hundreds? Thousands? That Drake is not important. Show some sense of proportion. Then he looks at Nathalie. You are young and show some potential, but you are arrogant and you tend to obsess. If you do not control these traits, there is no future for you anywhere. Nathalie meets his gaze. She is not at all convinced. I only wish to serve Avadon and fight for the Pact. There are flaws in it, there are problems, but it is doing what is right. You are wise, but you do still need at least some concern and some idea for the smaller picture. You do have a lot of ideas and a lot of knowledge of the big picture, as you have shown. But you need to think about the smaller things. You need a bit more of a diplomatic touch. I wish to help you with this. And in that, I only wish to serve Avadon and fight for the Pact. Redbeard nods. You are still young, but you have already accomplished much. I see steel within you. You may still have a great part to play here. So tell me, the time has come to decide. You are young and foolish, but I see steel in you yet. Are you ready to put your foolish doubts away and fight for Avadon? And if so, in what role? I wish to be a heart of Avadon. I believe the position is open. I don't know. To be a heart, one of my closest advisors, I must trust you completely. And yet... He looks you in the eye. Yes, you are loyal and skilled. I will for once trust my instincts. He rests his hand on your shoulder. I declare you Heart Jason of Avadon. Now that it is settled, it is time. Time? It is time to go downstairs. We will show ourselves. We will take command of the Black Fortress. We will show all that we are bloodied, but we are unafraid. And then we will go forth and give all we have to protect the people of the Pact. This Delos had best run in fear. Today he is marked for death. We will not stop until he is destroyed, and all see the penalty of opposing us. I have been weak and distracted. This ends now. Come, Jason. Today we begin to fight back. Are you ready? Yes, Keeper Redbeard. Redbeard steps out of his protective circle. Together you leave the ceremonial hall and walk toward the stairs. Now, at last, the real battle is about to begin. The sun rose the next morning over a blasted and burned Avadon. The assassins who snuck in through the low tunnels had all either been killed or managed to escape. The survivors, stunned by the brazen attack upon the heart of Avadon's power, wandered the halls, taking note of the damage. The destruction was considerable. The libraries were burned. Ailera, librarian of Avadon, was found murdered in the stacks. Centuries of records and accumulated knowledge, not to mention invaluable reports on the current state of Linnaeus, were now ashes. Many of the hands who survived the attacks and ambushes of the last few months were dead. Workshops were destroyed. The mind-reading crystals of the dungeons were smashed. The stunned surviving hands and eyes followed their first instinct, which was to look for Hart Miranda, Redbeard's most trusted advisor. They did not find her. They did not yet know of her treachery. Of course, they will have many chances to curse it in the months to come. So then they went to Redbeard's tower, looking for their leader. When they found that the gates to the Hall of Resolution were sealed, panic began to spread. Then, just as the newly terrified and broken warriors of Avadon were about to shed their training and determination, loot the citadel and flee, the gates opened. They ran through. In the hall, they found Redbeard. You stood by his side. You had been sorely tested a number of times, and yet you remained loyal to the Pact. Your companions still stood by your side, inspired by you to remain loyal to the Pact. Once full of doubt, they finally were helped to see that their true enemies were not in Avadon, but the far lands. Redbeard turns to you and places a hand on your shoulder. I know that you have followed a difficult path lately. The work you have had to do was hard. You have been given many chances to doubt the work we do, and perhaps my leadership has not been as strong as it should be. Yet, you have prevailed. You have withstood both danger and confusion, and you have stayed loyal. I will remember this, and you will be rewarded. Then, as more and more survivors of the assault enter the hall, Redbeard starts questioning the hands. He learns of the damage that was suffered and the loyal servants that were lost. His feelings are clearly visible on his face. First surprise and shock, then limitless rage. He stands and steps forward, ready to give a speech to his demoralized followers. I owe you an apology. I am old. For the first time, I think I might be too old. And yet this crisis has happened while I am in charge. It is my responsibility, and I will face it. I have been complacent. I have not watched the day-to-day operation of this fortress enough. I have trusted my servants, and some of them have rewarded us with betrayal. From now until I fall, I will not let my attention wander again. We know who is responsible for the attacks we have suffered. His name is Delos. He is in the Tawan Empire. He has spread his conspiracy against us to all corners of Linnaeus. That is all we know so far, but we will learn more soon. The Pact is under attack, my friends. Hanvar's council is divided and confused, and it relies upon Avadon to save it. We will not shrink from this task. The hands in attendance cheer at this. They have been reminded who they are, servants of the Pact and of Avadon. They practically run from the room, ready to rebuild this fortress and begin the hunt. Since you are now a heart, you helped direct them. It is the beginning of months of hard work. As investigations begin and many difficult conversations happen with Hanvar's council, you learn something of what has been happening elsewhere in Linnaeus. The unrest in the Wretch lands does not end. It only grows worse. The people of the Kava have to fight off constant incursions of wretches, ogres, and even the occasional titan. Zethron continues to aid the Pact, but only because of his grievous wounds. When he recovers, he might well depart. The dragon Zephyrine soon shows herself to be no ally to the Pact. She only grows more firmly entrenched in the Wretch lands, building her defenses and gathering allies. It will be some time before anyone has the strength to dislodge her. Fortunately, you were able to return the secret papers you found in the lair of the Titans to Avadon. Once these messages are decoded, the hidden lairs of many hostile Farlanders are revealed. Using this information, the Kava is able to do much to destroy their enemies. In Cameria, much as predicted, the many enemies of Doralstead soon gather. They rush in, ready to destroy Doralstead and claim Ogrim Tor for themselves. They find Estead greatly depleted. Most of its best warriors were lost during your assault. The invaders charged through Doralstead's meager defenses and seized Karsta Arl's mighty fortress. Within weeks of your final departure, Doralstead is no more. Unfortunately, the Demon Lord Belloc remains in Chimeria, precariously balanced between our world and the infernal realms. In these chaotic times, Avadon is unable to find the time and resources to deal with this powerful threat. So far, nobody has found a way to master Belloc and help the beast to enter our world. All you can do is hope that this powerful threat stays trapped where it is. The news from the Baraza Woods is grim. You know now that Duke Griffin had Monitor Shagaz and his fellow warriors murdered. However, Avadon is unable to convince Hulklandia that this assault was the act of a traitor. The Hulklandians only see the murder of their countrymen by their hated rivals. Hanvar's council does all it can to calm the two rivals, to little avail. For the first time in almost a century, the Pact seems threatened by civil war. If it is not prevented, it will be a disaster beyond reckoning. It is here that the hidden foes of the Pact have scored their true victory. It will only be revealed in the months and years to come whether this wound to the Pact is a mortal one. Eventually, Avadon is rebuilt. The damage is repaired. More hands are quickly recruited, and yet it has lost many of its most experienced servants and almost all of its records. Worst, it has lost its aura of invulnerability. For the first time in many years, many stop fearing Avadon. While on missions, hands are frequently attacked and sometimes killed. There is little fear of reprisal. Walls are easily repaired. Wounds to reputation are far harder to cure. Things are not well in the Pact. Hulklandia and Kalimdariel edge closer and closer to war. Instead of concentrating on defending themselves from the enemies at the gates, the Pact states jockey for advantage and plan for civil war. The allies of Duke Griffin travel through Kalimdariel in secret, urging his people to leave the Pact and ally with the Tawan Empire. Many are listening to them. For the first time in many years, the Pact seems to be in danger of falling apart. Avadon hunts for those who would tear the Alliance apart, but it soon finds itself attacked from another direction. Hanvar's council, long jealous and fearful of Avadon's influence, tries to weaken its power. Avadon is then forced to use some of its limited power to defend itself from attacks from within the Pact. They are hard days. Redbeard works to the limits of human endurance and beyond. When one problem is solved, two spring up to replace it. Unrest in Linnaeus, both in the Pact and the Farlands, increases dramatically. When times are hardest, the people under your command develop a habit. They look to each other in the eye and say, "We are Avadon." Then they work and learn and fight twice as hard. Though they know that one called Delis is working to undermine the Pact, they are unable to find him. As attacks increase, they struggle to learn the location of their assailant, and yet he can't hide forever. Day and night they leave the Black Fortress, risking attacks as they roam the free lands, trying to find the hidden enemy before Linnaeus crumbles into war. The first volleys have been launched. The true battle still lies ahead. You will be ready for it. And thus ends Avadon. The first one, at least. And in all honesty, that went a lot worse than I expected. They really were planning to make this a series. Redbeard is in charge. I am a heart, which means he will listen to me. And hopefully he will at least understand when I try to look at the little people. He can focus on the big picture. I'll try and work to keep things running in the small areas that people care. But as it said, Avadon is not in a good shape. Not now. Avadon 2 will be starting soon. And I am even blinder with that than I was with Avadon the Black Fortress. Whatever happens with Avadon 2, Avadon 3 was just announced a week ago. A week ago compared to when I recorded this. Probably 2 weeks ago compared to when you're seeing this. And that's due to come out in the fall. I'll be able to finish Avadon 2 by then. But in the meantime, this has been Avadon, the Black Fortress. I am Chester44. This has been the tale of Jason, former hand, now heart of Avadon. The tale of his companions, Sevelin, Shima, Janelle, and Nathalie. And I shall see you all next time.